Hi everyone, this week's Parsha is Parshat Behalotcha. And on this week's Parsha, I heard a beautiful idea from my Rebbe, Moshe Peleoff, and I think that it touches on something we've spoken about a little bit in the past, and to have a nice reminder of it this week could be very nice for everyone. So, on Shabbos, we have the 39 malachos, the 39 actions that are prohibited to do on Shabbos. Now, from these 39, we derive many sub-prohibitions from them, called toldos. One of the malachot themselves, one of these main categories, is called soter, right? Destroying. And you think, okay, destroying on Shabbos, it must just be, I can't take things apart. But no, it's actually not that simple. The malacha of soter, of destroying, is actually, it's prohibited to destroy something with intent to rebuild that thing. So, the question is where are we getting this idea from? These 39 categories of malachos, these prohibited actions, are supposed to be derived from the Jews' service in the Mishkan, how they'd deal with all of the internal affairs of the Mishkan, how they'd assemble it and disassemble it. How are we getting this idea that's brought down in the Gemara that the malacha of soter, of destroying, only applies to something that you would destroy with intent to rebuild in that same place? So, the Gemara talks about this, and it asks this question, and the Gemara answers that the Jews really, we learn this malacha of soter, of destroying, from the Jews taking apart their camps and rebuilding their camps in the desert. Now, there's another question you can ask about this. Sure, okay, the Jews are disassembling their camps with intent to reassemble their camps in a different location, but that's not the malacha. The malacha is, the prohibition is with intent to rebuild in the same place. And the Jews are not rebuilding their tents in the same place, they're rebuilding in the next camp. So what's really going on here? So I heard the name of Rav Chaim Shmulevitz in this book called Sichos Moser, in discussions of self-betterment, that he speaks about this idea, and again, it's an idea that we've spoken about in the past, that it says in this week's Parsha, in Parshat Behalotcha, a famous pasuk, famous verse, Al pi Hashem yachanu, Al pi Hashem yisau, right? By the word of Hashem, the Jews will camp, and by the word of Hashem, the Jews will travel. Meaning, implying that, sure, it may be that the Jews are disassembling their tents and getting ready to build them in another spot in the midbar, in the desert, but really, it's all the same place. It's just like, right, for mushal's sake, for parable's sake, it's just like a woman who's pregnant, and the woman could travel, but regardless of where she's going, the baby is still inside of her. So that was, by way of parable, what Bnei Yisrael, the Jewish people, were to Hashem in the desert, and how we could learn this malacha, this prohibition of soter, of destroying on Shabbos, from this nice message. So, my bracha to everyone this week is that we should all really think about this concept of, regardless of whether we're moving locations or moving to the next stage of life, whatever that may be, that we're always in Hashem's arms, and Hashem is carrying us from place to place, although we might not realize it on face value. And with that, I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom.